Hello, good people. How are you? I trust that you're fine. Once again, this is Evelyn Nyambura Gakinya. We are today looking at World Sight Day. It is a special day today, the 12th of October 2023. World Sight Day is celebrated every second Thursday of the month, and this year's one happened to be celebrated today, which is 12th of October. Why do we celebrate World Sight Day? Sight is an integral part of life and workplaces, and the theme of this year's or this day's celebration is eye health at workplaces. And workplaces is anywhere that you earn a living from, wherever you be working, that is your workplace. And so even in that place, eye health should be considered. Today, we look at some of the things that you should be concerned about your eye health. The theme of this year chooses or targets educating the employers, employees, organizations, and even government to value and to cherish the eye health of the workers that they do work with. And so the workers are being, or the employers are being enlightened on how to provide general safety for the eyes and ensuring that eye tests are affordable or available to the workers, and also ensuring that eye health or eye care is affordable to the workers. So you'll find most people trying to come and do screening at workplaces so that we can reach as very many people as possible to ensure that preventable blindness has been avoided, so that we do not get people who are born with normal sight losing their sight, because once you lose your sight, you eventually become non-productive. So today we are going to look at what are the risk factors that you who is at work are exposed to, or what are the risk factors to eye injuries. We have different types of injuries in the eye section, and we are going to look at some of them being like floating or loose object in your eye, or particles which can come from dust, dirt, flying or flying particles, like maybe particles of sawdust, something like leaves, anything that is small. When it falls on your eye, it can either be loosely on your eye, you can feel it, you can even see it, with another person can see it, or even when you look at the mirror, you can see it and you see it like it is loose. And the other thing is that that very small particle can get embedded on your eye. And so what we advise, we advise you to differentiate. Is this foreign body embedded, or is it something that I can easily remove? Then the other eye injury that you can get is a chemical burn. Chemical burn results or comes from chemicals that you are maybe surrounded with. People who are working in chemical processing companies, they have a risk of having splashes of chemicals on their faces and eventually in their eyes, and that one can cause an injury to the eye called the chemical burn. There is also the welding flashes or the welding burns. This is where somebody who is working in a welding area or an institution which is doing welding, like people who usually be welding doors, window frames, and such things, they have a risk of getting welding burns or welding flashes, and so they will feel the burning. The infrared that is produced when you're doing welding, they cause the welding flashes. And the other one is an eye puncture. Somebody can come with a perforated eye. This one happens in case of very serious accidents, like maybe somebody was operating a machine which has sharp objects, or the accident has caused sharp objects to fall into your eye, or even in fights, like somebody was fighting with somebody and they choose to break the beer bottle and pierce the eye of the the opponent. So those are some of the eye injuries. But of course, when somebody is fighting, then that one is not really a work related. Unless you are working in a bar and somebody chooses to attack you, then that one would be work related. The others can be considered as maybe accidents. So some of those are the major, or other. The other one is cuts. You can get a cut in the eye or scratches. Somebody might not have an object already in the eye, but the item can scratch your eye, and you'll be feeling so sensitive, especially if the scratch is on this black part of the eye that you see. So those are some of the eye injuries that you can get, and most of them are work related. So who are these people who are really at risk of having eye injuries which are work related? People who are working in timber areas where they are cutting or shaping timber, they have a high risk, because when you are cutting using a saw or maybe a power saw, particles of wood are likely to fly and they can hit your eye. People who are in our normal life, day-to-day life, right now in Mbarara or in Uganda, it is a rainy season in most parts. So the grass is growing very fast in compounds. So you find somebody who is slashing has a risk of having particles fall back into their eye. Those ones who are using the slashing machines, there is that machine which just cuts. So you should have a shield which should be in a position to protect your eyes. The other group is the bodabodas. Almost everybody uses a bodaboda at one point of life, including those ones who are driving. You find that somebody wants to rush somewhere, they don't feel like they should just get into the car, and they choose to use a bodaboda. So flying particles can come from due to excessive wind, or even an insect can enter your eye if you don't have the protective glasses. So the bodaboda riders, in their line of duty, they are exposed to particles entering their eyes, which is a work hazard. So if you find a bodaboda who is driving you, they should either use the protective goggles or glasses, or they should use their helmet, because the helmet has that part which has the shield which ensures that particles or insects don't enter their eyes. We also have the people who are working in companies that have tight air or tight water. In case that water bursts, it can affect your eye, because if you are hit by the pressure of water which has been enclosed in a place for a very long time, or tightly, if it breaks, then you have a risk of having an injury. People who are even in kitchens, at times you are in a place where you're using charcoal, and those sparks that come from charcoal fires or charcoal stoves, they can spark and be on your eyes. So those are the people who are at a high risk. But generally now, almost everyone who is using the computer or smartphones, they are also at risk of having some strains which we call the digital strain. So those ones are also at risk. If you are working in an environment where there is a lot of bright light, then you need to be cautious about your eyes. What do you consider when choosing the eye protective wear? The eye protective wear should be chosen depending on what are the hazards that your eyes are exposed to. For example, if you're going to go to a place where there are flying objects, then you need to get things that are protecting even your face. So because you don't know which part of the face will be affected. So eye care or eyes, even the space around the eye is considered as eye health. So the way of choosing the best eye wear protection, they should be fitting you properly. They should not be loose, falling off. Okay? You find that in case you want to bend, the things are falling. No, it should fit you properly. It should ensure that you are seeing very well. It should not hinder clear vision. You should be able to put those protection glasses and protective wears, and they should allow you to see clearly. Somebody will ask, how about for me who has an existing eye problem? I want to give you good news that even when you have a refractive error which requires correction with glasses, we can make for you protective glasses with your prescription incorporated in that protective eye glass. Then they should not hinder your movement. The eyeglasses you put should not hinder or compromise your walking. You should be able to walk very freely. You should be able to even use The other thing, they should allow you to use other protective gears. If there's anything else that you need to put, you should be in a position to put it, and you protect also other parts of the body. So the protective gears should fit properly, should be cleanable. Remember, at times some of these things that splash on, they would need to be cleaned on. And so they should be durable and they should be cleaned, because they are quite expensive. So if you buy cheap ones, then they break very fast, then you're going to lose a lot of money. So the best thing you should do is to ensure that you buy something durable, something easy to clean, so that you don't also get infections when you are using the protective eyewear on yourself. The one thing that you should note, employers might not have the capacity to buy protective gears for everyone. Some of these offices or some of these workplaces, the machine that requires you to use the protection or the protective eyewear are few. So you find maybe it is being operated by one person at a time. So what we advise is that if the employer provides only one protective gear for the eyes, then it should be easy to clean, and once the person has used it, you should disinfect it. Yes, because infections of the eyes can be passed by you sharing the protective gear. So it should be clean. These parts, especially the ones that rest on your nose bridge, they should be cleaned thoroughly so that you don't get infection from one worker to another worker. And so if you are going to work around the person who is using that machine, which has a risk of hurting your eye, then you should make sure that you have your own extra there. By the way, the desperacy that is there, people are so desperate for jobs. So even if you go and you get a job and your employer doesn't provide you with the protective items, it is upon you as a worker to make sure that you come with the protective items, especially on your own, because somebody might say, for me what I'm worried about is just a job. But remember, if you lose your sight, you might even not enjoy the money that you're getting from that work. The other thing is that I have told you that some protective glasses can be fit with your corrective glasses. What that means is that if I have an eye problem, which I have always had, I should make sure that those glasses that have protection for eye hazards at workplace, they should only be used by the person whose correction is fit there. Are we together? You find somebody has put glasses and they have their prescription, but they also want to share it with another person. I won't tell you that eyeglasses should not be shared, especially if they have the corrective powers or the prescription. So those are the things that you should consider and you should follow when you are buying protective gears. So the protective gears or the safety glasses are in different categories. We have some safety spectacles. Those ones have very hardened frames, so that in case anything hits your face, it hits the frame first, so your eye and even the socket of the eye is protected. We have the goggles. The goggles, they cover the whole part. They are even curved. The goggles are curved. They are curved in such a way that nothing enters from any side. Then for people who are doing the spraying, the slashing, we have the shields, the face shields. Some of them are similar to what you saw during Corona days, when somebody would put a mask which even covers the face. Yes, but those ones are not advisable to use during or in workplaces which has very heavy flying objects, because they are not impact proof. Yes, so the glasses that are for impact proof are those protective spectacles or some goggles which are hardened. Then we have the welding glasses. The welding glasses are specifically made to ensure that the infrared from the welding gadget, they do not affect your eyes. Then the other things are some of them, like the razor shield. You find that some people who are working with a very high concentration of light, which we call the razor light, they have their special glasses. One thing that you should note is that when you're choosing or when you're buying the protective eye gears, you should choose the ones that are compatible with the kind of hazard you are exposed to. Yes, for me, I am in an office setup. So what I'm protecting my eyes from is the excessive light of the computer, because at times I might spend several hours on my computer or my smartphone. So these ones fit. But if I'm going to go, let us say, like spraying crops in the farms, then I should not use this, because you can see here any splashes can pass through here. Yes, if I am going to work like in carpentry, the saw things can also fly around my eye. So this is not fit for outdoor work. Yes, but maybe when I am using my border, because it is bigger, it is okay. But you might find some glasses like these ones are too small. They only cover here. So something that is coming will hit my eye. So when you're using glasses, or even when you're buying glasses, if you nowadays you realize that most people are using glasses that are a bit bigger. You find that somebody is choosing something that is a bit big, so that it serves all the purpose. This one can serve when you're sitting on border, when you're using your computer, it serves that purpose. But there are those specialized protection glasses that should be used by you when you're using, depending on your workplace. Thank you so much.